Panic for EastEnders Eve as new obstacle threatens to ruin adoption plans with Suki. It's been a turbulent time for the much-loved duo, who were torn apart earlier this year when Suki secretly planned to raise her teenage granddaughter, Avani Nandrahart's baby, as her own. Having struggled with motherhood in the past and feeling she failed her 4 grown-up children, Suki was desperate for a chance to make things right by becoming a mum again. Eve, meanwhile, had never pictured herself as a parent, but after plenty of persuasion, she eventually warmed to the idea. Their world, however, quickly imploded when Avani's parents, Ravi Gulati and Priya Nandrahart, discovered the truth. The fallout led to a devastating split after Eve chose to support Avani through her decision to have an abortion. In recent episodes, the pair finally found their way back to one another, with Eve making a shock confession. She wanted to start a family with Suki after all. But things soon flipped again when Suki appeared hesitant about adoption, seemingly agreeing only to keep the peace between them. Next week, Eve's dream of becoming a parent faces a serious snag due to her troubled past. Viewers will see Suki and Eve preparing to meet with adoption officials to assess whether they'd be suitable candidates, but their plans are thrown into disarray when Ravi, Priya, Avani and Nugget suddenly return from their trip. Despite the chaos, the meeting eventually takes place and turns out far better than expected. But Eve's joy is short-lived when she learns that a personal reference from her mother is required to move forward. Longtime fans will recall that Eve became estranged from her parents years ago following the death of her twin sister and their refusal to accept her sexuality. Although she briefly reconnected with her mum off-screen last year, after Suki's manipulative ex, Nish Panasar, arranged for her mother to be attacked as part of his scheme to break them up, the wounds between them remain deep. Now, with old pain resurfacing, Eve must decide whether she can face her mother again to secure the future she's begun to dream of. Kat left furious as Zoe's latest betrayal rocks EastEnders. Zoe, determined but increasingly frustrated, is running into roadblocks while trying to find her long-lost son. She decides to take action herself by arranging a meeting with a private investigator, but her plans are stalled when Kat informs her that Sharon is still away with Vicky, meaning they'll have to wait. Kat, meanwhile, has bigger worries on her mind, and the ongoing tension between Zoe and Jean only adds to the strain. Both Kat and Alfie Moon find themselves caught in the middle as tempers flare inside number 31. The household is tense, and Zoe's impulsive behavior threatens to push Kat to her breaking point. Trying to restore calm, Kat eventually softens and offers to help Zoe locate her son, extending a peace offering. But just when things appear to be moving in a positive direction, Kat makes a shocking discovery. She notices money missing from the till and quickly realizes Zoe is responsible. Enraged, Kat pursues Zoe through the streets of Walford, catching her in a secret meeting with the private investigator. The confrontation is intense, with Kat demanding explanations. While she tries to stay supportive, her trust is shaken when she notices Zoe lying to the investigator. Kat's frustration turns to suspicion as it becomes clear Zoe is hiding more than she admits. Back home, tensions reach a boiling point. Zoe walks in while Kat vents to Alfie, unaware that her actions are being discussed. In a moment of brutal honesty, Kat warns that Zoe will have to leave if she doesn't start taking responsibility and behaving responsibly. The words hit hard, and Zoe begins to feel her world unravel. Their relationship seems on the brink, though a moment of unexpected levity breaks through the chaos. A commotion erupts at the Queen Vic when a cat becomes trapped inside the pub. Zoe steps in to rescue the frightened animal, surprising Kat and Alfie. The act eases some of the tension and opens the door for a tentative reconciliation. Shaken by Kat's earlier words, Zoe makes an effort to repair the bond with her mother, and for a brief moment, things appear to be on track. But calm doesn't last long. Zoe eventually drops a bombshell, leaving Kat stunned as she presses for the truth about her daughter's motives. The revelation is kept under wraps, but it promises to shift the storyline dramatically. With stolen money, broken trust, and mysterious secrets still unfolding, fans can expect even more emotional drama from the Slater household in the coming weeks. Is this the moment that finally exposes Zoe's hidden truth, or just the start of an even deeper family mystery? Billy issues a serious warning to Callum over Johnny and Lexi in EastEnders. In upcoming episodes of EastEnders, viewers will see Johnny Carter stepping up his efforts to become a bigger part of the Mitchell family's life, with a particular focus on young Lexi. Johnny's gestures, ranging from small gifts to thoughtful surprises, are meant to show his care, but not everyone is convinced his intentions are entirely innocent. While his generosity seems heartfelt, his sudden and intense involvement is raising eyebrows among those closest to Lexi. Billy grows increasingly concerned. Billy, who has always been fiercely protective of Lexi, is immediately suspicious of Johnny's motives. He worries that Johnny is moving too fast and is more interested in making an impression than forming a genuine, lasting relationship with her. Billy's instincts tell him that boundaries need to be maintained, and he becomes increasingly anxious that Lexi could be emotionally hurt if things spiral out of control. A confrontation with Callum. With his concerns mounting, Billy decides to confront Callum, Lexi's legal guardian and Johnny's close friend. He makes it clear that he is uncomfortable with how quickly Johnny is inserting himself into Lexi's life, and he warns Callum to take action before it's too late. Callum is caught in a difficult position. On one hand, he wants to ensure Lexi has positive role models and enriching experiences in her life. On the other hand, Billy's warning forces him to question whether Johnny is overstepping boundaries. This tension puts Callum in a tough spot, torn between protecting Lexi and trusting Johnny's intentions. Johnny goes the extra mile. Later in the week, Johnny attempts to further solidify his bond with Lexi by offering to take her to a concert, an idea that clearly delights the young girl. Lexi's excitement is infectious, and it puts Callum in an even more difficult position. While he initially considers stopping the outing in light of Billy's earlier warning, he also sees how much joy it brings Lexi. Callum must now carefully weigh Lexi's happiness against the potential risks of letting Johnny get too involved. Tension between Johnny and Callum grows. The storyline hints at a growing strain in Johnny and Callum's relationship. Since Johnny returned to Walford, the two have developed a closer bond, prompting speculation among fans about the nature of their connection. This conflict over Lexi could either strengthen their relationship as they navigate their differing perspectives, or create a rift if trust and communication break down. Johnny's eagerness to support Lexi might come from a sincere desire to be a positive influence, but it could also reflect a deeper longing to rebuild family ties and secure a central place in her life. The stakes are high. Lexi's well-being lies at the heart of the storyline. Callum faces a difficult decision. Risk angering Billy by giving Johnny more access to Lexi, or risk disappointing Lexi by limiting her interactions with someone she clearly enjoys spending time with. The tension is compounded by the already delicate dynamics within the Mitchell family, where grief, loyalty, and protective instincts constantly collide. What's next for the Mitchell household? As the drama unfolds, viewers can expect emotional scenes, confrontations, and moments that test the bonds between family and friends. Will Callum side with Billy's protective instincts and step in to curb Johnny's involvement? Or will he trust his own judgment and allow Lexi to spend time with someone she clearly adores? And how will Johnny react if his efforts to connect with Lexi are met with resistance? With complex emotions, high stakes, and the ever-present potential for conflict, this storyline promises to explore the delicate balance between trust, family loyalty, and the desire to do what's best for the children caught in the middle. EastEnders airs Mondays to Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One and BBC iPlayer.